Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I was just,
Um,
hello. Stop the music. Hello, can
sorry.
you hear me?
Yes, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Oh, great. Um,
Hi.
Hi,
Yeah,
how are
I was
you?
just
Just making sure I'm not echo.
hello.
Turn this off. Yeah, okay, great. I'm not echoing, am I?
No.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. And Felicia, so that's Anya and Felicia. Thank you so much for your arrival. So we'll start because I know it looks like it's dark where you are, Anya. Felicia, I
Because
don't know
it's
where you're calling
6
from.
a.m. 6 a.m. So it's going to get bright. I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, you're ahead.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so you're tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm tomorrow, lady. The lady from the
That's
future.
amazing. Amazing. The world is so
It's
amazing.
amazing, right? I love this.
Yeah, yeah. So you're tomorrow. I'm still yesterday.
It's quite magical if you think about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you so much and welcome today. So this is kind of like something I thought I'd do before the circle next week because I wrote my book,
Mm-hmm. Congrats.
Reclaiming Your Worth, and I just want to share some of the thoughts in there. So over the next 4 weeks, I'll be sharing those thoughts. I think I've stopped sharing on the screen. So welcome, like I said, and thank you for giving up your time. And before we start, if you can put in the chat where you're from. And one question I would like to ask is, who decides your worth? Who decides your worth? You put
Well,
that
that's
in.
a tricky question, right?
Very good at looking at the chat. Where's the chat? Chat. Ooh, I'm using a new system. So, okay, there it is. So I can see what you've written. So who decides your worth? Is it your boss? Is it your children? Is it your partner if you've got one? Who decides your worth? So let me know. Who is the author of your life, really? Who do you think is the author of your life?
Well, it's a tricky one because, like, I always felt when I was younger that, my worth is kind of like market value, right? So, like, what I'm at work, that what I'm getting paid, someone decides, and, that I have to like conform to it. Whereas now I'm shifting to I decide what's my worth. I decide what's the meaning, right? I decide what even I give my attention to. But it's a tricky one because I'm only, I'm 45, so I'm just getting to that point now. And before I was not like that. So it took me a long time.
Yeah, sometimes it does take a long time to come to that realization. Some people uh know that straight away from when they're born. We actually, I get it. I get it wrong. We all know it when we're born.
Hmm.
We just lose it as we come to the journey. We lose it either through society, school, sometimes parents, friends. So we lose our worth. But so that's why I'm saying that we're actually reclaiming it. It's something that we have that
Hmm.
is there, but we're reclaiming it. So I would appreciate it if you come for the reading circle because then we can have a conversation. I can learn, you can learn, we can all learn with each other. And so my next book can follow up on reclaiming your worth and the experiences that we have. So before we start, I'd just like us to do a little exercise. It's called the tennis ball technique. So if you find a spot in front of you, it's dark for you, Anya. I hope you can see in front of you. So
Yeah,
find
yeah.
a spot to focus on in front of you and loosely fix your attention on that spot. So just keep your eyes on the spot. Now relax your jaw. Keeping your eyes on that spot, expand your vision. So just Don't move your eyes, you'll just keep them on this wall, but expand them vertically so that you can see upwards and you can see downwards. And keeping your eyes on the same spots, expand your vision so that you can see to the left and to the right. Now close your eyes and imagine the spots behind you. Place a tennis ball in that space. Now, whether you can see it or you just have a feeling of knowing that it's there, it's fine. Place a color on the ball, and when you know it's there, slowly change the color. Now, place a number on the ball, and when you're ready, change the number. When you have done this, you can open your eyes. Now, allow yourself to become aware of the room in you so that you're able to hold a conversation effortlessly. So it just helps you to get within yourself. So before we begin, I want to name something really important. There's nothing you need to do in this space. Nothing you need to say, nothing you need to prove. So you're welcome to keep your camera on or off, depending on what you're comfortable with, so that's fine. You're welcome to listen quietly. You're welcome to exactly as you are, so you don't need to change anything. This is not a workshop, this is not a webinar, and it's not a sales call. It's simply a pause, time to just relax, a moment to arrive back with yourself before anything else begins. So wherever you are, I invite you to take one gentle breath, not to change anything, but just to arrive. And so the reason I'm holding this gathering is because many women are drawn to reclaiming your worth. Tell me similar things like, I'm confident, I've done all my inner work, I'm capable, I'm accomplished, and yet something feels like it's disconnected. So I just want to share with you a little of my story. So for a long time, people assumed that I was strong. So on the inside, I wasn't feeling strong, but people just assumed that I was strong. I had responsibilities, I had children to raise, I had a career to manage. And like many women, I learned how to keep going, which is a gift we have, actually. I became very good at coping, very good at holding things together. But one evening, I remember sitting down quietly in my home after a long day, and I felt I hadn't allowed myself to feel before. So I wasn't just tired, I was exhausted in a much deeper way. And in that quiet moment, I realized something that really surprised me. Not one, no one had actually asked me to carry anything. Somewhere along the way, I had learned a story that said that my value came from how much I did or how much I could endure. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. How capable I could be, how little I needed from anyone else. So kind of like the strong one. And that story was slowly burning me out. But I didn't realize it because the thing with burnout is it creeps up on you. So that moment didn't change. That moment didn't change my life overnight, but it started a different journey, a journey where I began asking different questions. So the questions I asked was, what would it mean to live from the place where my worth already exists? So I already knew what my value was. I wasn't looking for external validation. I wasn't looking to constantly prove myself. And that question is part of why the circle exists, part of why I actually wrote the book, because many women arrive in spaces like this looking capable on the outside, but quietly wondering if there's another way to live. So before we begin tonight, I'd like to invite you to arrive exactly as you are, not as a version of you who has everything together, just yourself. And from there, we can begin. So if you've got any questions, you can always put it in the chat or you can always ask. So really what I want to do, where I'll really be diving into things will be in the circle, which starts on Monday. But I thought I'll have this as a starter just to help people understand what the circle is all about. So I will talk about different things in the book today. So we live in a culture that constantly invites great. So it invites us, especially when we're career women. But even when we're stay-at-home moms, it's like we have to be perfect, we have to be confident, we have to be very good at homemaking, we're more visible, more productive, more field. So to be strong. And while growth can be beautiful, it can also become another form of pressure. So sometimes some people get really overwhelmed. So reclaiming your worth is different. Worth is not something you earn, it's something that we already have. It doesn't mean that we're perfect because we're always growing. If we're perfect, then there's nothing to live for, is there? But we're always learning. And it's not something that we have to prove. So reclaiming your worth and your worth is not something you have to prove. It's something that you already are. So it's who you were before any expectations, before the roles. So I'll just well, look into the book and tell you. So, oh yeah, the first thing I wanted to talk about is, so one of the things I really focus on is the word worthy. And where is it now? Yeah. So the word worthy. So this is an invitation to reclaim your birthright. It's not another guy telling you to do more, to achieve more, or be more. The striving stops here. So the worthy blueprint stands for, so W is for worth, which means you're embracing your inherent value, the value that we have, our superpower that's already there, but we've forgotten that it's there. Ownership, so O is for ownership, claiming your story and your authority. R is for resilience, rising stronger by honoring your emotions, experiences, and inner strength. T is for truth telling and transformation. So speaking your truth, redefining your success, and aligning your life with who you really are. H is for healing, addressing the root of generational patterns and reclaiming your emotional freedom. So this is something that I didn't realize was there, because sometimes we have generational things and we just think, okay, it's from us. Usually a lot of things come from between 0 and 7 years, but there are also generational things that kind of are passed down from our parents, grandparents, from our ancestors. So this is something we need to be aware of. And then Y is for your value and visibility, standing boldly in your worth, using your voice, allowing yourself to be fully seen. So this is something that I talk a lot about, about being worthy, and my Worthy Woman blueprint is based on that. And everything I talk about now is based on the worthy. So in the first week, so in week 1, we will be going through, just make sure I get it right, the polished mask. And other people have named the polished mask. But for me, the polished mask is where you feel you're confident in what you do. So you can be confident, but not have self-worth, or at times your self-worth is lacking. So you could be good at everything you do, but then you question, am I worthy to be here? Do I deserve this? Why are these good things happening to me? So we're not really receiving, and that shows a lack of self-worth. And I don't know where this has come from, because when we're babies, we don't feel that way. But I think as the years go by, we learn to cope as children, because children are very vulnerable, and they might want love, they might seek love. So to seek love, they might become people pleasers, or so they might become people pleasers, or they might have things that hold them back. So they might actually become defensive, so they might become aggressive, or they might want to always be perfectionists, because they believe that if they're perfectionists, then they will be loved. And we carry that into adulthood, but because it's so deeply buried in our subconscious, we don't realize that that's what we're doing. So as women, like our counterparts, the opposite sex, they if they're good at something, 10% are good at something, they have confidence they can do it. And usually they'd go for it. But we always we usually wait till we're 100%, and then so we don't go for the job until we feel we're 100%. Why? Because you don't have to be 100%. You can do it. So just go for it, because you get the training and you learn on the job. And even if you don't get it, it's still a learning experience. But we always want everything to be crossed, all the dots there, and everything to be perfectionist. And then again, that is the self-esteem that's lacking. And I don't know why that happens to a lot of women, but it does for some reason. So in week one, yeah, so in week one, I said we'll cover the polished mask. And it's so I'll read a quote that I have in the book. I love the quotes. It says, "You are not who the world taught you to be. You are who you have always been, beneath the noise, beneath the striving, beneath the story." So you have your word and you just have to bring it out there. And yes, sometimes you will make mistakes, but it's mistakes are not actually a negative word. I think we've been brought up to believe that it is negative. And I always like to say opportunity for growth. I like to use that word instead of um, um, mistake. I'm just looking for the page. I did put my things there. But anyway, so in the book, I've also got reflective exercises that you can go through if you do decide that you wanted the book. But we'll discuss that next week, or yeah, because next week is the Polish man. So one of the things in there is reclaiming forgotten parts. So what parts of you, a creative hobby, a playful spirit, a voice that was silenced, a dream that was postponed, have been forgotten or pushed aside, that you now want to lovingly to welcome back into your life? I don't know if you want to type something in the chat. So what part of you do you want to, as a child, like go back into your childhood? What was it that you really enjoyed, that you really want to reclaim back into your life? Or if you want to unmute and say something, I don't mind. Okay. Just looking for. So remembering who you are and coming back. Creativity. That's my one too. You stole that from me. That's my one. Creativity. And so are you doing anything to help you with your creativity to bring it back?
Yeah, so what I was doing before, because I'm starting a new chapter of my life, everything that I had fell apart and now I have to find a new way. So at first I was trying to find it by, oh, what should I do? Maybe I should do this, I should do that. And then every day I had a plan. So on Monday I will do this, on Tuesday this, on Wednesday this. And one day I just, said, stuff it. I'm not doing anything that I don't want to do. Like that's it. I tried that, all my life, always forced myself to do things. And now I will just only do what I want to do and see where that leads me, right? What happens. So that was the entry point for me. Like it definitely I'm not like super creative yet, but it definitely opened up different sort of areas in my brain and in my mind, and just playing with this. And also what you said, that we always have this thing like it has to be perfect. If I'm not prepared 100%, I'm not even gonna say anything, right? And men are just going for it. Like they don't even know what to say, they're just talking. So now I'm experimenting with that as well, that it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be anything, just whatever, it just is.
Yeah,
From
exactly.
yeah, from doing to being,
From
rather
doing
than
to being, that's perfect. That's really great. Yeah. So yeah, so just recognize. So you're beginning to recognize who you are really deep down. So you're going
Mhm.
within and you're finding out and you're doing what benefits you, and not in a selfish way, and not that you're stepping on other people, but you're finding that creativity that is there, but we lost because I guess the way the education system works is that it's all about the left brain, isn't it? About reading
Yeah.
and passing exams, and the creatives with as we grow up. Because when you were a child, I'm sure you played mummies and daddies and you were acting there and you were drawing stuff and why do we lose that as we grow up? You know. So yeah. Then in week 2, we'll go into the inner critic. And this is where we question ourselves, we doubt ourselves, have I done it right? You know, well, I'm not good enough. Yeah, I'm not good enough. Actually, even with the polished man, that comes up, the imposter syndrome that comes up. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
worthy to be here. So we'll work on that. And we'll also work on some techniques that I use um, to overcome this, go within. So some tools that I use and some questionings and some journaling that that I have in the book. So I'll talk about that. Obviously, it's quite a thick book. So I'm not going to talk about everything in the book. So I've just chosen 4 topics to really talk about so that at least it can help to reinforce your journey, or if you haven't started that journey and you're not really aware, it can help start that journey. And then we can have a discussion because also I'm learning. We can have a discussion and you can say what you've learned. Like Annie and I, you've given some tips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm looking at creativity. I was looking at dance. So dance is one thing I was looking at. And also drawing. I like nature. So like
Mm-hmm.
trees, drawing
Yeah.
trees. So the inner critic that's always telling us, oh, we're not good enough, or it's not good enough, we have to do this. And so it's learning. So I use tools to help to work on that because sometimes it can come from usually between 0 and 7 years old. And what I do is I work with the subconscious. So you can work with the subconscious mind to help you to release it. You don't need to leave the experience, but help you to release it. So why is it that I don't feel good enough? Why is it that I don't feel loved? Some people make comments like I'm not good enough, I'm ugly, I don't speak well, and when you say I am something,
Yeah.
you're reinforcing it in your subconscious and making it well. So it's being able to let go of these things. So there are techniques that you can use that can help you. And then in the 3rd week, it's all about self-trust. So I was talking about self-trust to a lady that I collaborate with, and self-trust is so important because once you have self-trust, it radiates and then people start to trust you. And self-trust comes from within. So do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself to make the right decisions for you? You know, and it's learning to have that self-trust. And you can understand these things by listening to your body. Because sometimes we're under stress a lot, especially these days, and we rush things a lot. So we're not really feeling inside, but you can, if you take deep breaths, you can feel in your nervous system where it's uncomfortable. So if it's uncomfortable, if you have a decision to make and it's uncomfortable, it means that maybe it's the wrong decision. So it's being able to listen to your body. I like to work with the body. I think it's so important with the body. So another quote I have is, healing is not becoming somebody new. It's remembering who you were before the world taught you to forget. So yeah, when you see as little children, they know what they want, they're sure of what they want. And when you say they can't have it, they'll be questioning you, why can't they have it? So they're really sure. Um, but we've lost that. And we've lost that through time. And it's just remembering who we are. The questions. So so after so yeah, one of the exercises that I have is to open your journal, and you can do this later because this is quite a long one actually, and write a heartfelt letter to her, to you, to your maybe your future you or your past you, whichever you want, possibly your future you. And in this letter, thank her for her immense strength. Actually, not your future you, your real you. So you thank her for her immense strength, her unwavering endurance, her incredible courage, and for getting you to this very moment. Acknowledge the weight she carried. You know, have compassion for who we are. Sometimes we beat ourselves up so much. We don't have compassion. So, for instance, if we want to lose weight, for instance, just a big one for a lot of us women, we want to lose weight and then we're not losing it, or we fall off the wagon from the diet that we decided to go on, and we get angry with ourselves. And no, we shouldn't, because we're trying and we should acknowledge what we've tried. So gently let her know that she no longer needs to carry it all alone or constantly prove her worth. Reassure her that it is now safe to rest, to receive, and to simply be. So sometimes there's another thing we some of us do. So when somebody says you have a nice dress, you come and somebody says to you, "Oh, you look so beautiful." Sometimes you say, "Oh yeah, I just got that down the charity shop. Oh yeah, I only got that for £20."
Yeah.
You know, we should learn to receive. So if somebody says, "You look beautiful," thank you, and really feel it in your heart because you deserve it. You deserve it. We try to deflect, I used to do that so much before, and now I catch myself when I want to do that. I just catch myself and say, no, thank you very much, and I feel it rather than trying to deflect and say, oh no, I only got that cheap, or that was just a hand me down. That was just on sale, Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we learn to appreciate ourselves the way other people appreciate us. The thing is that I think with us women, we give, we're always giving, we're willing to give 100%. But when it's time to receive, we feel bad, we feel guilty. Why do you feel guilty about receiving? And what I say to people is that when you're receiving, you're also giving, because you're making that person feel worthy by
Mhm.
receiving. So when you say thank you, that person, because people like to help, and when they feel that they're making you feel good, they love it. So you're also giving. I don't know
Mhm.
if any of you want to say anything or write anything in the chat.
Yeah, that's all the concepts that you just presented. I fully agree with.
Yeah,
Yeah, like yep, 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 yeah. That's so true. And also, like if you receive, right? You receive something that you want, you make someone feel good, and also then you are better to be around because you are fulfilled. So it's really like a
that's a good
gift.
point.
Yeah, gift that
Mm.
keeps on giving, right?
Yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. That's a good one. Yeah. So after writing your letter, reflect on the following questions. What am I truly ready to consciously release from my old story of survival, performance, or unworthiness? So this is one of the things we'll talk about, getting ready to release those things. You know, just loving ourselves. I talk a lot about self-love, and some people mistake self-love for being selfish. So
Mm-hmm.
self-care is part of self-love. Self-care is external. So self-love is not really external. It can be part of it, like going to the have a manicure. That's self-care, and that can be part of self-love. But self-love is really internal, and it doesn't mean you have to spend any money. Self-love is about having compassion for yourself, recognizing who you are. Don't compare yourself to somebody else, because you are unique and you have your own value, and that value was there when you were born, but we have forgotten it because of certain situations. Sometimes horrible things happen and we have forgotten it, and horrible things do happen, but we always have a choice. So even in that horrible thing that's happening, there's still a choice to to be positive about it. And it's not easy. I know it's not easy, but it's doable. And we are strong. And actually, I was talking to somebody this morning. I was on a podcast this morning, and we were talking, and somehow going through the birth canal came. So when we were born, can you imagine that baby? Some babies are as small as 2 pounds, but can you imagine that baby wanting to come out for life? That was a big challenge for that baby, you know? And they thought, I can do it. I can do it. Because you're here. So you said, I can do it. I can do it. And you came out screaming, probably, but you did it. So why have we lost that I can do it along the way and we're feeling bad? You know? And I kind of thought, yeah, that is so true. Babies just, they struggle. Some of them take hours, 30 hours, 40 hours, and they finally come out. Yeah, I don't know how long your mother had to go through with you, but my mom said I was quite a difficult birth and quite painful. But I made it. So how come I lost that faith in myself as I was growing up? And I had to reclaim it, and I'm still reclaiming it. Yeah. And then in the fourth week, we'll go into living your worth. This I like this bit because it just talks about I am not afraid. I was born to do this, and this is by Joan of Arc. The chapter starts with your unapologetic presence, embracing your full spectrum of strength, softness, and visibility. Because a lot of us, there's different types of us. You know, you got the warrior type, you got the girly type, you got the athletic type, you know. But when we go into the workplace, I don't know how many of you work, but when we go into the workplace, we feel that we have to compete. But I feel that if we're just who we are, we'll be stronger because one of the gifts that we have very good gifts with our intuition. We're also very good with people. And if we just be ourselves, because you need the collaboration and you need different types of people. And even in the workplace, sometimes I think we lose ourselves because we feel that we have to compete if we want to succeed in the workplace. And I feel that that's not actually true because if you yourself you're really strong and because you're being you're very strong in what you do, and so you're able to be more successful, I think, and collaborate with our counterparts as opposed to competing with them. And you can. So I'll tell you a quick story. So I was mentoring this friend of mine who's a nurse, and she said to me, in my profession, it's mainly females, but the top positions are held by men. And she feels that the men are, she didn't use the word oppressing, but I can't remember the exact word, but they're being oppressed, and why do they have the advantage of having the top positions? And I said to her, flip it round, because a lot of men, like I said earlier, when they can do the job, they'll think, I can do the job. And they look at the other bits of the job and they'll say, yeah, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And they go for it. And they don't mind if they get the knockback, they'll go again next year for it. But we want to tick all the boxes before we go forward. So if you look at the job description before you go for the job, you see what you have, you see what you're capable of doing, and it's an experience anyway. If you really want that job, go for it. It doesn't matter if you're told no. What's the worst that you can get? That you'll be told no, you're not ready, and so, or if you feel that there's a problem with the organization, you can go somewhere else that will appreciate you. I know that that has happened to somebody that I was working with, and she was doing the job for 6 months and never got the promotion. And so she went to a mentor. Her mentor said to her, "You are qualified. Go get a job out. Go apply for another job." And she went and she applied and she got it. So she went back and she told them, "I'm leaving. I got the job." You know what they did? They offered her the job. So sometimes you have to take those bold steps. Believe in yourself. If that's something you want, believe in yourself. And sometimes going for an interview is a learning process because it can help you know what you need to work for to bring yourself to the next level. So I think if we believe in us, one thing I find, and I'm sure, Anya, as you said, you're learning and you're probably finding that as you're finding yourself, you find out that the fear of speaking out starts to lessen. I don't know if you find that.
Well, I had the whole spectrum of it because, my whole life, like I mentioned, fell apart and I had to face very, tough um, emotions, choices. And I discovered what actually I'm afraid of. I always thought all my life, I thought I had some sort of darkness in me, not depression, but like dark side.
Mm-hmm.
When I confronted it finally now at 45, I realized it's just a whole sort of, collection of fears. And there are fears that I developed in childhood. I grew up in Poland, it was tough at the time. The culture was like, you will die, like tomorrow there's going to be nuclear war. Life is not a fairy tale. We have to look
In,
out. It's terrible. There was nothing to eat, food stamps. So we were scared of
oh,
everything.
where
And
did
now
you grow up?
in Poland, in the 80s.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So now that I faced all these fears, they are losing up, like you said, exactly, because I know what they are, right? And I can still feel them in my body, but then my mind is disputing them, like, hello, it's all inside of you. It's not external threat, right? It's all inside of you. It's a state of consciousness that you have from the past that's still playing out because you never really witnessed and talk to it. So yes, they are loosening up. Like sure, they are still there, but now I've developed an awareness that I can actually look at them as a, like a whole. I call it a cassette tape, like as if it's a cassette that I'm putting into, a player, and then all these fears are there, these emotions of those fears, those memories. And then if I take this cassette out and put different cassette with, I'm fearless, I'm powerful, I'm independent, that is still a program as well, and I'm feeling that. So I'm playing with a lot of things at the moment. But yes, the fears usually are inside of us, and this is no external threat.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
because we have those beliefs, like you said, because of the past experience.
Mhm.
And sometimes it's generational that you can't even remember it, but you can feel it in your body. So being able to listen to your body and being able to ask yourself, is it true?
Mhm.
Is it true?
Yeah.
And just because it's happened in the past doesn't mean it's going to happen in the future. And that's another thing. I think sometimes too, we're living like when we go outside to the public or even at work, we're living to perform as
Mhm.
opposed to be living in the present, or we're just looking back at what happened before or what we've heard. Is it true? And it's I'm not saying it's easy, it's not easy, but the thing is that the more you do it, it becomes easier and it becomes easy for you to be able to jump from the past and jump quickly into the present. It just becomes a better habit to form because at the end of the day, we want to be happy, we want to be successful, whatever success is for you, because success again is different for different people. Success might be for some women, might be becoming the CEO of a company. Success for some women might be staying at home with their children. So it
Mhm.
depends what is success for you. Don't compare yourself to other people or what the world is telling you success is for. Because these days, success, the world tells you that as a woman, success is for you to do A, B, C, and D. But maybe that's not what you want. I
Mhm.
met a girl and she would spend 10 hours in a closed room just filing. I could never do that.
Wow.
Just filing. She bring her little radio in, lock the door because we had to do loads of filings for years and years and years. And she would just do that and she was so happy just doing that. Everybody is different,
Mhm.
So sometimes we put too much pressure on ourselves, which causes like burnouts, causes us to get into anxiety, causes us to get into depression. And because as women, we always try to take on everything, so taking on the family home, yeah, going out to work, you want to please everybody. So the people pleasing seems to be seems to be a thing with a lot of people pleasing. You know, you don't want people to think you're not efficient.
Mhm.
If we're who we are, that will come out anyway. So the fourth week, yeah, it's about your voice, speaking out your voice, your worth. Um, so shrinking. So not to shrink, the shrinking, but where am I still shrinking, diminishing my voice or editing my truth to stay safe or be liked? Because as children, we want to be safe, and we've carried that into adulthood without realizing. Because children, they're quite resilient. Okay, they look like they're resilient because they just get on with things, but it gets buried down in there. And if we are not aware of those feelings, like when we have those feelings, we carry that into adulthood, and we express it without realizing. So we want to stay safe, which is a natural thing, and we don't want people to hate us. We want to be liked. We want to do well. We want to do well with whatever we're doing, which is a natural thing, but we can still have those things by being ourselves.
Mhm.
And so I'm very passionate about reclaiming your worth. So it would be nice if you could join me whenever you can for the circle the next 4 weeks of March. And it is Women's Month, isn't it? International Women's Day is
It
coming.
is, yeah.
So on the 8th of March, which I think is a Sunday this year.
Is
It's
it?
this
Okay.
Sunday coming up. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a Sunday.
So Monday here, right, in Australia.
Oh yeah. No, no, it will be Sunday. Yeah, no, but
Sunday, you're right.
International
Yeah.
Women's Day is a Sunday, which is the 8th.
Uh-huh.
So it will still
Sunday.
be Sunday for you, but we
Yeah.
will still be on the Saturday. So when we
That's
come into the Sunday, you'll be going
hmm
into the Monday.
that's fine.
Yeah, so yeah. So it's a nice thing for us to empower ourselves and to support each other, because that's another thing I think we don't do very well as women. We don't support each other. We sometimes don't help each other, like we're sometimes not very nice to each other. And
Yes.
I tell you, so and this is worldwide. And somebody explained that to me. They said to me 2,000 years ago, because you only need one man to populate the world, isn't it?
Mhm.
So you need one man in a community and you can just have loads of women. So
Yeah.
what happened is obviously there was competition because there's competition because who is he going to choose, So there's competition. So maybe this is where this has stemmed from
Yeah.
from years ago. Because I just think this is all over the world. We sometimes I kind of think, do we hate each other? But we don't, because there's lots of lovely women, but we sometimes we tend to be very competitive.
I agree. And it's interesting that you say it because we are in Africa, right? Where
Now
are
I'm in
you?
London.
In
But
London.
like I was born here, but my parents are from Africa, and I went back to Africa, so I grew up in Africa. Then I
Yeah,
lived in
because I
DC, and I'm
remember I
back in
read
London.
something about you and there was Africa in it. I don't assume you're just from Africa, but it's everywhere. And I host women's circles at my home, and they are from Australia mostly, but some are South American, some are South African. And they always say the same thing that we always, women, not we, but women compete with each other. And what you
Yeah,
said makes so much sense with that, competing. But think about like it's so much sense, right? And in the workforce, when I worked in corporate, there were all these women teams and they all like dressed up, they all like makeup, hair, just to look better than the other woman. And I was wondering,
yes, yes,
why, right?
yes,
And maybe
yes.
it's not about men all the way because the corporate, world, you have.
I was sitting one day and I was talking, I was just asking, I was talking to this man that I never met. And he just said, yeah. And he gave this story. He said that because years ago, I thought that makes sense because this
Makes
is
sense.
universal. It's not just here in London
Mhm.
or in Nigeria or wherever. So, anyway, does anybody have any questions?
Well, I a lot because you are very interesting. I like your story, and I love that you just did it. You went through this transformation, and now you're like, yep, I'm writing a book about it. That's bold step, amazing. So I just wanted to say congratulations. And like, what was the step? Like, what was what actually said? Okay, I'm doing it. I'm going for it. I'm writing a book now because I'm not sure if you were a writer before, but probably not.
No.
How was it like that, that pinnacle of your transformation that said writing a book now?
Okay, it's actually my second book. So what
Okay.
happened is I got married when I was 19, but there was domestic violence. And then I left. And I kind of thought, so my first book is Success After Domestic Violence,
Wow.
Breaking Free. So a lot of women, and I understand it's very difficult to live a domestic violence situation. And a lot of times, a lot of women, when they've left, they go back, which I did. I went back after 9 years before I came out again. And I realized, so I've always wanted to write the book. So for about 20 years, I've been wanting to write a book. I finally wrote one 3 years ago. But I found out that the reason why why I got into that situation in the first place, so it's okay to blame. I'm not excusing the behavior of the person, but I had to own my story. Why did I get into that situation in the first place? Self-worth. Because why can some women walk away from a domestic situation? The first time it happens before they even get into the marriage. So they walk away. And why is it that some people stay with it? And so I had to question myself, and all these questions came out, and I found out. So then I had two illnesses that were quite bad, and it all came down to this self-worth, and so looking after yourself mentally, because mental illness, issues is quite a big thing that can affect us in our nervous system and make
Yeah.
us ill later on. And so I started questioning myself about these things. And so I thought, it took me about more than 30 years. And I thought, okay, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to develop a system, what I've used, all the mistakes that I've made, so that people can have a shortcut rather than go through their own story. If I had somebody to tell me or help me along the way, it wouldn't have taken me that long. And so that was it. And then luckily for me, last year, I met a friend who's an author, and she was offering some free
Oh.
things. She has an app. She was testing her app out. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do it now. This is my chance. She's got this app she's trying to test out. So I did it. Yeah.
But like app for writers, like wannabe writers, or app for what?
Pardon?
The app, what was it for? Like wannabe
Oh,
writers?
she's a publisher.
Oh,
So she
okay.
just developed she has so many apps for different things. So she's got this app to help people so she can help them write, but they can use the app and do it themselves. So I was testing it as do it yourself.
Wow, that sounds like a cool app.
But yeah, it's a cool app. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very into the AI and the IT and technology. She's just very into that. Yeah.
May I ask what's the name of the app?
Oh, I don't know the name of the app, but I can get it to you. So
Okay.
that's not a problem. I can put you in touch with her. You can talk to her. And
Yeah, I'd like that.
yeah, so
But
I can do
yes,
that.
so that would
But
be amazing. But your story, wow, like amazing. Like the strength you have. Um,
thank you.
Really, it's really beautiful, and I love your energy as well. How you talk about it, you really are. It's like
Thank
really,
you.
really,
Thank
yeah,
you.
so much
Learning to
gravitas.
receive. Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in the chat, I've put the where to register for the circle. If you can maybe send that to friends or people who might be interested,
Okay.
so you can there's the link in the chat. So I just want to thank you so much for engagement, for coming. Wendy left, but that's okay. She probably had somewhere to go. People are busy.
Yeah.
So before we close, I just want to say something quickly. So if something softened tonight, even slightly, just trust that returning to yourself doesn't happen all at once, as you know, and yeah, it
Yeah.
happens gradually. And just be patient with yourself. It happens in moments like this, as we share, we learn, Thank you for being here. Thank you for your presence, and thank you for honoring yourself enough to pause.
Well,
And
thank you for inviting us. It's really
yeah, and don't forget to register for the circle.
mm-hmm.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I will try to make it. It's at 6 a.m., right? So it's not
Oh,
exactly
your
what,
time, yeah.
but I will
Well, if you
see.
register, I will send the replay. So if it's too early, oh, I can see it's light now.
Yeah, now
Daytime.
finally. It's funny because, I start off in darkness and then reveal myself slowly.
It's lovely. It's dark for me here
But
now.
this is the good metaphor for what you were talking about. We all start in some sort of darkness. And if we go through the process, if we do the work, the light shines, right? And then we can see our full selves. This is a
I
great
love
metaphor.
that.
Me too.
I love
Yeah,
that metaphor. That's beautiful. Yeah, I
that's
love that.
exactly what can summarize the whole, the whole transformation journey.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Thank you
hope to
again.
see you in March, and thank you very much. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely night.
You too.
Bye.
Have a lovely day. Enjoy
Thank you.
International Women's Day.
Yeah, exactly. Let's celebrate. Let's spoil ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Felicia. Have a good evening. Stop recording.